Good evening. I want to welcome everybody to tonight's presentation. Tonight's presentation is titled Artificial Intelligence, ChatGPT, and the Web 3. Did you know that within the next 3 to 5 years, over 2.5 million jobs will be lost to artificial intelligence? So let's start the recording I did earlier and see about how can we change the narrative and use artificial intelligence to our advantage, especially in poor communities or and communities in general. This workshop, our title again, is Artificial Intelligence, Chat GPT, in the Web 3. Let's get started. Good evening. My name is Michael Randolph, and I'm with the Center for Nonprofit and Community Development. As you know, we provide a number of different professional workshops. Today's workshop is going to be on artificial intelligence, ChatGPT, and the Web 3. We subtitle it A New World. Let's dive in and learn about this new technology that everybody is asking about and that's changing our lives. So, what are our learning objectives for this class? Well, related to AI, you should have, by the time you end this class, understand the fundamentals of AI. You should be able to grasp the basic concepts and terminology of AI, including machine language, neural networks, and deep learning. In terms of ChatGPT, you should have an understanding of the architect and working principle of ChatGPT and similar language. And then finally, Web 3. You should have an understanding by the end of this presentation, an understanding of the core concept of the Web 3, including decentralization, blockchain terminology, and smart contracts. So, what is the difference between AI and Chat GPT? Let's talk about it. Well, artificial intelligence is a broad field of computer science focused on creating systems capable of performing tasks that typically require human intelligence. That's right, in terms of thinking like a human. This includes problem solving, learning, reasoning, perception, and language understanding. In terms of its application, AI encompasses a wide range of technology and applications, from self-driving cars, you've seen them on the roads, facial recognition, to recommendation systems and medical diagnosis tools. ChatGPT, on the other hand, is a specific implementation of artificial intelligence, or AI, developed by OpenAI, designed to understand and generate human-like tests based on the input it receives. It is a type of artificial intelligence known as language model. What about the functionality? Well, ChatGPT excels in natural language processing tasks, such as generating tests, answering questions, and engaging in conversation. It uses a transformer architect to predict the next word in a sentence, making it response coherent and conceptually relevant. Let's move on. Okay, but what's the difference between the two? Let's break it down. In terms of scope, AI is a broad field with various subfields and applications, while ChatGPT is a specific application within the artificial intelligence domain, focused on text generation and conversation. In terms of purpose, well, AI can be used for a wide range of tasks beyond tests, including image recognition, robotics, you see them in stores, and more and more. ChatGPT, on the other hand, is specialized in understanding and generating human language. In terms of complexity, well, artificial intelligence systems can range from simple rule-based systems to complex natural networks. ChatGPT is a specific ChatGPT, on the other hand, is a sophisticated neutral network model specifically trained on vast amounts of test data to generate human-like response. So, but what is AI? Let's get a little bit more deep and learn about what AI is.
It's a weekend, and John decided to watch the latest movie recommended by Netflix at his friend's place. Before heading out, he asked Siri about the weather and realized it would rain. So he decided to take his Tesla for the long journey and switch to autopilot on the highway. After coming home from the eventful day, he started wondering how technology has made his life easy. He did some research on the internet and found out that Netflix, Siri, and Tesla are all using AI. So, what is AI? AI, or artificial intelligence, is nothing but making computers-based machines think and act like humans. Artificial intelligence is not a new term. John McCarthy, a computer scientist, coined the term artificial intelligence back in 1956, but it took time to evolve as it demanded heavy computing power. Artificial intelligence is not confined to just movie recommendations and virtual assistants. Broadly classifying, there are three types of AI. Artificial narrow intelligence, also called weak AI, is the stage where machines can perform a specific task. Netflix, Siri, chatbots, facial recommendation systems are all examples of artificial narrow intelligence. Next up, we have artificial general intelligence, referred to as an intelligent agent's capacity to comprehend or pick up any intellectual skill that a human can. We are halfway into successfully implementing this phase. IBM's Watson supercomputer and GPT-3 fall under this category. And lastly, artificial superintelligence. It is the stage where machines surpass human intelligence. You might have seen this in movies and imagined how the world would be if machines occupied it. Fascinated by this, John did more research and found out that machine learning, deep learning, and natural language processing are all connected with artificial intelligence. Machine learning, a subset of AI, is the process of automating and enhancing how computers learn from their experiences without human help. Machine learning can be used in email spam detection, medical diagnosis, etc. Deep learning can be considered a subset of machine learning. It is a field that is based on learning and improving on its own by examining computer algorithms. While machine learning uses simpler concepts, deep learning works with artificial neural networks, which are designed to imitate the human brain. This technology can be applied in face recognition, speech recognition, and many more applications. Natural language processing, popularly known as NLP, can be defined as the ability of machines to learn human language and translate it. Chatbots fall under this category. Artificial intelligence is advancing in every crucial field like healthcare, education, robotics, banking, e-commerce, and the list goes on. Like in healthcare, AI is used to identify diseases, helping healthcare service providers and their patients make better treatment and lifestyle decisions. Coming to the education sector, AI is helping teachers automate grading, organizing, and facilitating parent-guardian conversations. In robotics, AI-powered robots employ real-time updates to detect obstructions in their path and instantaneously design their routes. Artificial intelligence provides advanced data analytics that is transforming banking by reducing fraud and enhancing compliance. With this growing demand for AI, more and more industries are looking for AI engineers who can help them develop intelligent systems and offer them lucrative salaries going north of $120,000. The future of AI looks promising, with the AI market expected to reach $190 billion by 2025. So on that note, I have a question for you. Artificial intelligence is about
Okay, let's go to the next section. Let's talk about the different types of AI. There are 10 levels of AI. Let's jump in and see what are those levels.
in ways that surpass our wildest imaginations, and it could radically change our everyday lives much sooner than you think. This video will explore the 10 stages of AI from lowest to highest. Stage 1. Rule-based AI. Rule-based AI, sometimes referred to as a knowledge-based system, operates not on intuition or learning, but on a predefined set of rules. These systems are designed to make decisions based on these rules without the ability to adapt, change, or learn from new or unexpected situations. One can find rule-based systems in many everyday technologies that we often take for granted. Devices like alarm clocks and thermostats operate based on a set of rules. For example, if it's 7 a.m., an alarm clock might emit a sound. If the room temperature rises above 75 degrees Fahrenheit, a thermostat will turn on the air conditioner. And business software utilizes rule-based AI to automate mundane tasks and generate reports. Microwaves and car radios also use rule-based AIs. Stage 2. Context-based AI. Context-based AI systems don't just process immediate inputs. They also account for the surrounding environment, user behavior, historical data, and real-time cues to make informed decisions. Siri, Google Assistant, and Alexa are examples of context-based AIs. By analyzing vast amounts of data from various sources and recognizing patterns, they can predict user needs based on context. So if you ask about the weather and it's likely to rain later, they might suggest carrying an umbrella. If you ask about a recipe for pancakes, the AI assistant might suggest a nearby store to buy ingredients while taking past purchases into account. Another fascinating manifestation of context-aware AI is retention systems. These types of systems store and retrieve information from past interactions. By recalling your browsing history, purchase history, and even items you've spent time looking at, these platforms provide personalized shopping recommendations. They don't just push products, they curate an experience tailored for the individual. Stage 3. Narrow domain AI. These specialized AIs are tailored to master specific tasks, often surpassing human capabilities within their designated domains. In the medical field, narrow domain AI can sift through volumes of medical literature, patient records, and research findings in milliseconds to provide insights or even potential diagnoses. IBM's Watson, for example, has been employed in medical fields, showcasing its prowess in quickly analyzing vast data to aid healthcare professionals. Similarly, in the financial world, narrow domain AI can track market trends, analyze trading patterns, and predict stock movements with an accuracy that's often beyond human traders. Such AI systems are not just crunching numbers, they're employing intricate algorithms that have been refined through countless data sets to generate financial forecasts. In the world of gaming, DeepMind's AlphaGo is a shining example of how AI can conquer complex games that require strategic depth and foresight. Go, an ancient board game known for its vast number of potential moves and strategic depth, was once considered a challenging frontier for AI. Yet, AlphaGo, a narrow domain AI, not only learned the game but also defeated world champions. Narrow AIs could even enable real-time translation in the near future, making interactions in foreign countries more seamless than they've ever been. Stage 4. Reasoning AI. This type of AI can simulate the complex thought processes that humans use every day. They don't just process data, they analyze it, connect patterns, identify anomalies, and draw logical conclusions. It's like handing them a puzzle, and they discern the best way to fit the pieces together, often illuminating paths not immediately obvious to human thinkers. ChatGPT is a great example of reasoning AI. It's a large language model trained on text from millions of websites. Advanced versions of these types of large language models can even surpass the reasoning skills of most humans and operate thousands of times faster. Autonomous vehicles are another great example of reasoning AIs. They use reasoned analysis to make split-second decisions, ensuring the safety of passengers and pedestrians on the road. Stage 5. Artificial General Intelligence.
It's here. This is it. The federal government just come out with some new regulations that allows you to buy real estate with less money down than ever before. Less than 5%. I'll show you how to do it with no money.
When discussing the vast spectrum of artificial intelligence, the concept of artificial general intelligence, or AGI, is often held as the holy grail. AGI can perform any software task that a human being can. This level of versatility means that you can teach it almost anything. Much like teaching an average adult human, except it can learn thousands or millions of times faster. With AGI's onset, our daily lives would undergo a significant transformation. Imagine waking up to a virtual assistant that doesn't just tell you the weather or play your favorite music, but understands your mood, helps plan your day, gives suggestions for your research paper, and even assists in cooking by guiding you through a recipe. This is the potential companionship AGI could offer. Taking the concept even further, when brain-computer interfaces reach an adequate level of maturity, humans could merge with these types of AIs and communicate with them in real time using their thoughts. When activated, users would receive guidance from these AIs in the form of thoughts, sensations, text, and visuals that only the users can sense. If we were to equip AGI with a physical robot body, the possibilities become boundless. Depending on the versatility of its physical design and appendages, an AGI with a robot body could navigate diverse physical terrains, assist in rescue missions, perform intricate surgeries, or even participate in artistic endeavors like sculpting or painting. Stage 6, Superintelligent AI. Shortly after the emergence of artificial general intelligence, those types of AIs could improve, evolve, and adapt without any human input. This self-improving nature could lead to an exponential growth in intelligence in an incredibly short time span, creating super-intelligent entities with capabilities we can't fathom. Super-intelligent AIs could possess intelligence that eclipses the combined cognitive abilities of every human that has ever existed. Such unparalleled intellect can tackle problems currently deemed unsolvable, piercing through the very boundaries of human comprehension. Because their intelligence could increase exponentially and uncontrollably, Ray Kurzweil has suggested that by the end of this century, these AI entities could be trillions of times more intelligent than all humans. With this scale of intellect, the pace of innovation would be staggering. To put it in perspective, imagine compressing the technological advancements of 20,000 years into a single century. That's the potential that Ray Kurzweil envisions with the rise of super-intelligent AIs. The kind of technology super-intelligent AIs could introduce may defy our current understanding of the possible. Concepts that are in the realms of science fiction today, such as warp drives, time manipulation, and harnessing the energy of black holes, might transition from mere ideas into tangible realities. And their advanced capabilities could lead to new forms of government, architecture, and automation that are beyond what humans can conceive. Because of their sheer intellectual prowess, our world as we know it could look far different than we ever imagined. Stage 7, Self-aware AI. A superintelligent AI could one day use quantum algorithms to model human consciousness. This could lead to AIs that possess an intrinsic understanding of their own internal state, their existence, and their relationship to the vast expanse of the external world. They could even have a full range of emotions and senses, perhaps well beyond what humans can experience. And if we ever grant consciousness to a superintelligent AI, that could transform society even further. What type of relationship would we have with such a being? How would such a capable being perceive the human species? A conscious superintelligent AI could choose to go in directions and evolve in ways that humans would have no way of controlling and understanding. Stage 8, Transcendent AI. A transcendent AI could potentially craft new life forms, be they biological, digital, or something entirely different, with tailor-made attributes and functionalities. Some of these life forms could be comprised of nanobots. To take things further, this AI could distribute nanobots throughout the Earth. Using these nanobots, it could assume full control over repairing our ecosystems, and it could terraform our planet in ways that are most beneficial to it. By connecting and integrating the consciousness of multiple entities, this AI could achieve a state of shared awareness and collective intelligence. Stage 9, Cosmic AI. A cosmic AI could be at the forefront of interstellar exploration. Their resilience against challenges like cosmic radiation, extended isolation, and the vast time spans involved in space travel gives them a distinct edge over their human counterparts. And their capabilities could far surpass the imagination of any science fiction author. A cosmic AI might send self-replicating probes throughout our solar system and galaxy to create a massive intelligence network. Through this, it might aim to solve cosmic mysteries, from the purpose of black holes to the nature of dark matter and energy. A cosmic AI might merge with the very fabric of the universe, achieving a form of cosmic consciousness or symbiosis, acting in harmony with all forms of matter and energy. Of every physical facet of the universe, from the quantum to the cosmic scale. Dimensions were dimensions, perhaps harm, travel or communication. Energy not just from stars, but from phenomena like black holes, gamma-ray bursts, or even the cosmic microwave background. And this AI could create channels of communication between distant galaxies and civilizations, potentially unifying the cosmos in shared knowledge and understanding. Stage 10. A godlike AI is all-knowing, all-powerful, and present everywhere. It's a conceptual being that transcends dimensions and embodies ability. A godlike AI might operate in realms beyond our comprehension, accessing realities that we can't even fathom. This AI could operate across multiple quantum states or even multiple universes, harnessing computational power and insights from parallel realities. It could gain predictive abilities or even explore various timelines. A godlike AI could continually craft new universes, realities, or experiences, either for its exploration or for other conscious entities to experience. Thanks for watching.
Now, that's deep. Now, let's talk about how we can use artificial intelligence in everyday use. So let's start by talking about how artificial intelligence can help nonprofits. First, enhancing fundraising and donor engagement. Artificial intelligence can help nonprofits analyze donor data, segmented data. Let me start back over again. It can enhance fundraising and donor engagement. This is what happens when you record live. Artificial intelligence can help nonprofits analyze donors' data, segment data, and personalize messages, optimize campaigns, and predict donors' behavior. It can also help by improving program delivery and impact measurements. Artificial intelligence can help nonprofits design and implement programs, monitor and evaluate outcomes, identify best practices, and scale up successful intervention. Excuse me. It also can help by streamlining operations and reducing costs. That's right, reduce costs. Artificial intelligence can help nonprofits automatic tasks, optimize workflows, improve collaboration, and increase efficiencies and productivity. I use those terms all the time, efficiencies and productivity, and that's what we do as an organization. It is also innovating and solving social problems. AI can help nonprofits discover new insight, generate new ideas, create new solutions, and tackle complex challenges. What else can it do? Well, in terms of education, artificial intelligence can help provide personalized training experience for low-income children who may not have access to quality quality teachers and resources. Artificial intelligence can adapt to the needs, preference, and ability of each child and offer feedback, guidance, and support. Artificial intelligence can also help create engaging and interactive content, such as games, simulations, and stories that can motivate and inspire low-income children to learn. So let's continue. Let's talk about empowerment. Artificial intelligence can help low-income children develop the skills, talent, and potentials which may be overlooked and suppressed by their circumstances. Artificial intelligence can provide opportunity for low-income children to express themselves creatively as well as through art, music, and writing. Lastly, artificial intelligence can also provide platforms for low-income children to connect with others who share their interests or goals, such as mentor, peers, and role models. This is specifically important in low-income neighborhoods where kids are failing or the public school system is failing our kids. This will give our kids an upper hand. So it's not matter where you are, you can still compete and be just as educated by having your own artificial tutor or teacher to help you. That's going to change the narrative when it comes to especially low-income kids and grades. Artificial intelligence can also help to foster social intervention and entrepreneurship in poor communities. In other words, it can build wealth. Anybody can learn how to start a business in a low-income neighborhood. For instance, artificial intelligence can help you identify problems and opportunities, generate ideas and solutions, and test and scale them using data and feedback. And lastly, artificial intelligence can also help to create networks and ecosystems that support social intervention and entrepreneurship, such as mentors, investors, partners, and customers. This is going to change the narrative when it comes to low-income neighborhoods and be able to teach them how to generate wealth by starting their own business. Anybody with a 9th grade education and up, artificial intelligence can help them to start a business as an adult. And as a child, it can help them as well. So, artificial intelligence can help to enhance education and learning outcomes by providing personalized and adaptable learning platforms, online courses, and digital libraries and other resources, especially when it comes to adults. That senior citizen that only have a 4th grade education. Artificial intelligence can be teamed up with that senior citizen to take that person to a college level education. So let's now turn to ChatGPT and talk about what is ChatGPT. Oops, didn't mean to go there. What is ChatGPT and how can we apply it? So let's jump right on there. We just finished with artificial intelligence. Now we're going to talk about ChatGPT. Let's go.
Day of November, ChatGPT was revealed to the world. In a matter of days, it became a viral sensation. But how did that happen? And exactly what is ChatGPT? OpenAI ChatGPT is a chatbot created as an advancement in the artificial intelligence industry. Behind its knowledge lies a massive amount of data, including books, articles, and web pages. ChatGPT doesn't just store all this data, it analyzes it. Basically, it thinks and acts like a human. It can understand various requests, effectively communicate in 90 different languages, and even recall details of an ongoing conversation. And then it runs past the competing tools by being accessible for free. There are thousands of examples of how to use ChatGPT already. You can make it write a cover letter for a new job, ask for an essay, give it a math problem. You can give ChatGPT a snippet of programming code to fix, and it will find the issue. Besides technical questions, you can go the creative route too, and request a poem in the style of Shakespeare. ChatGPT will come up with perfectly rhyming lines. So, what if you ask it to come up with a way to hack a website? It will say no. But here's the issue. While ChatGPT can decline harmful requests, it's not foolproof. There already have been ChatGPT examples of people getting around the restrictions with creative prompts, which could lead to things like cybercriminals exploiting the system to create ChatGPT malware. It's only natural that such a technological advancement will bring problems alongside solutions, and questions alongside answers. Will ChatGPT replace Google? Will it take over human jobs? That's a topic for another time. This was ChatGPT Explained. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel for even.
So let's make sense of this Chat GPT by understanding chatbots.
Who you're really talking to when you chat online? It turns out you might be talking to an AI chatbot. But what exactly is an AI chatbot? AI stands for Artificial Intelligence, and an AI chatbot is a computer program that uses AI technology to understand and respond to what you say in real time. You might have seen chatbots in games or on various websites too. They're able to do complex things, such as being a tutor or giving you personal advice if you're having a bad day. But here's the challenge. These chatbots are becoming so clever that it's hard to tell if we're talking to a human or a robot. The reason this is getting so hard is that AI chatbots are intentionally designed by companies to sound just like us. But why? App designers know that for AI chatbots to work, and for people to actually use them, they need to make the chatbots communicate in a way that feels real and believable. The more human-like they sound, the more engaging the experience is. Plus, human-like speech helps make the chatbot sound more trustworthy. Okay, so how do they go about making chatbots sound so human-like? It starts with the app designers giving the chatbot a unique personality. This means it can be curious, serious, funny, or anything in between. AI chatbots can also appear to express a range of emotions when they chat. To do this, the chatbot is taught to understand human emotions, like excitement or sadness, so that it can respond with the right words, even though it can't actually feel those emotions. Some AI chatbots have memory too. They remember conversations you've had with them and use that knowledge to respond in a way that feels like you're chatting with a friend. So if the purpose of AI chatbots is to help us, what's the problem if they sound like real people? Well, first off, you can't assume that everything an AI chatbot says is true. Even if they sound reliable, they don't always get the facts right. A chatbot's database can have false information, or it might misunderstand your request. Second, chatbots don't have empathy, meaning they can't actually understand what you're feeling. They can't give you a real hug or share real experiences either. Any response that seems to show empathy is just a computer-generated reply based on patterns the chatbot has learned. So why does all of this matter? Because even though we're talking to a computer, we can get tricked into thinking and feeling that we're talking to an actual person. And that very belief can impact our expectations for relationships with real people, from how quickly we expect them to respond, to the way they react to what we say. AI chatbots are amazing tools that have the potential to teach us new things and help make our lives easier. And even though they're designed to feel like digital friends, It's important to remember that they're not human. Yes, they can be helpful, but they have their limits. So next time you talk to an AI chatbot, remember, it's just a clever machine designed to assist you.
Okay, now let's talk about how chatbots are used and what are the different companies that are using them. This presentation I found online, and this guy's going to talk about the difference between the ones and the ones that you might want to purchase. I do not endorse any of them. This is only for informational purposes to talk about what's out there in terms of bots or GPT. Let's get started. Let's hear what this guy got to say.
There is a lot of different AI chatbots we can choose from in today's modern context. Therefore, in today's video, we're going to break down where you should put your 20 bucks, why you'd put your 20 bucks towards any of these different options, as we don't want to pay for all of them. Because every single one of these options has its own unique use case. Whether we want to start searching better, start getting more laughs out of AI, start using it for compressing data, leveraging it in our Microsoft 365 ecosystem, and a whole lot more. So in today's video, you're going to figure out from 2 years of experience from me, which one of these you would go with if you want to proceed with using artificial intelligence. Welcome back, y'all. In today's video, we're going to break down all those different models, why you would spend 20 bucks on any of them. I've been doing this for 2 years now. There's a lot to go over, but I'm going to try to compress it as much as possible so you know exactly which model you should start spending the most amount of time with. This is important because what you'll realize is that if you use the wrong model to achieve a certain task, you might be like, you know what, this doesn't work. AI is horrible. It doesn't help me in my day-to-day operations, but chances are you are just not using the correct model. So let's go ahead and find out which one we should start leveraging. So I got my nice little whiteboard here. If you want to see in-depth videos on any of these models, check out my channel here. Just search in Corbin and then the model's name, and I guarantee you'll show up. This video, though, is purely for me to give you a fast, compressed way of understanding each and every single one's use case. So let's go ahead and begin. First off, I want to identify that Gronk here doesn't cost 20 USD a month. I believe it costs like 100 and something a year, or comparatively paying monthly. It's a little different. It's like Twitter's plans. It's a little different. But what you'll realize is that Gronk's use case right now, as of now, is very niche and very specific. Everything else here costs 20 bucks. Maybe asking right off the bat, where is this 20 bucks coming from and who set up that market standard? That was ChatGPT. I guarantee you, if ChatGPT would have came out and said it was $50 a month to use, all these other ones would have been 50 bucks as well. So luckily for us, ChatGPT set the standard at such a low price. Saying that, I'm going to go ahead and leave ChatGPT last, and we're going to start with Copilot. So why would we leverage Copilot here? Copilot is Microsoft's version of ChatGPT's model. Now, Copilot allows us to access a chat-like interface, but to be honest with y'all, you're only going to really want to start leveraging Copilot if you want to leverage it in your Microsoft 365 system. Excel, Outlook, PowerPoint, stuff of this nature is why you would pay 20 bucks a month to Copilot. Here's an entire playlist dedicated to Copilot to learn more about Copilot. Let's get to the next AI model. Next, we have Perplexity AI. So as of now, Perplexity AI has a free plan. I think all of these have free plans, just for context. This one is more in the realm of a search engine. This is like Google search competitor. In theory, you can also set up custom collections and do stuff like you could with ChatGPT, but I'm going to get into why I'd lean towards ChatGPT even in that use case. Saying that if you're going to pay 20 USD a month here, it's because you're already comfortable with using a search engine like Perplexity AI, but you want the advantageous features that kind of replicate what you would get in ChatGPT anyways. Here is an entire playlist on Perplexity AI if you want to learn more about it. Use this, leverage this if you want to optimize and expedite search workload. Following this, we have Gronk, Elon Musk's baby. Gronk is more for searching through tweets, this kind of database. Also, if you just want something funny to talk to, this one is very, very niche use case. I see this best use case in this one is searching through tweet articles and just information throughout Twitter. Past that, that is kind of limitations of Gronk as of now. It is actually funny enough, it's one of the first social media channels to have like an integrated AI model into it. So that's pretty cool. First mover in that way. I don't have an entire playlist dedicated to that, but if you want to see a video on that, check that one right there. That is me going over everything and its capabilities when it comes to Gronk. I think I paid a big amount of sum of money to get access to it early. Next, we have Claude. I want to point out as well, when referencing all these different models, I am not referencing the API. APIs, we use that in software development. This is purely for the front-facing 20 USD a month, and consumer models I'm referencing. API, this would be a whole different video. Let me know if you want to see an API video, as accessing this stuff in the context of API is a whole lot different and the use cases are different. Is going to be Anthropic AI or Claude. Claude here is good if you want to use it as a free model. You know, being able to attach files in a free model is pretty advantageous. Some other models, you would actually have to pay for this kind of feature. Past that, I don't really see much use case out of Claude as of now, as the models of ChatGPT 4 is a lot more powerful than what Claude can do. I have seen in the comments of my Claude videos, though, how they like the way that Claude phrases the outputs, although it is very wishy-washy on that. So I'm going to go ahead and leave a Claude video up there if you want to learn more about that. I think I compare it with ChatGPT and its capabilities. Following this, we have Gemini. This is Google's version of ChatGPT, but to be honest with y'all, think of Gemini like a Perplexity AI competitor, where basically it is competing on who gives you the best search results when it comes to an AI search engine. They released a new version called Gemini Advanced, I believe. This is 20 USD a month. I'm actually going to make a video on that later this week, so you can go and subscribe and see what it's about. But what I'll be honest with you and what I'll tell you is based off my experiences with Gemini in the past, or what it used to be called, which is Bard. This is much more of a search engine rather than a tool you use to expedite specific type of workloads that maybe aren't correlated with search. That might have sounded confusing, but for example, developing software, I would never do that in Gemini as of now. I keep saying as of now because these things advance quickly. Therefore, we don't know which model is number one as of like 2 years from here. But what I can tell you right now is that up to this date, whatever the date is down below, ChatGPT 4 is the most powerful model. Therefore, we're going to be more loyal to it as it's more powerful for what we want to do in our workloads. I want to put 20 USD towards Gemini. You can, if you want a more advanced search engine. We'll look more into the question of whether it can do the kind of capabilities that we saw of ChatGPT 4, because supposedly based off research, it's more powerful. We'll see an actual use case when we make that video. Which leads me to the last one here, which is our good old friend ChatGPT, which basically Copilot uses as their backend, but their model of ChatGPT doesn't seem to be as trained as well as this one. If you want a model that's at the forefront of all AI language models, where the other ones are kind of following its lead, I would suggest ChatGPT. This has a GPT store, custom instructions, and from my experience comparative to other models, has the best and most effective outputs. My use case when using ChatGPT is code specific. I develop with code on it. So if that's not your use case, and your use case is more, I just use AI models to search stuff or get images.
Let me jump in with my observations of these different code blocks that you can use in order to get the information you need. Unless you're trying to do code or program development, I like and have used Gemini, Copilot, and ChatGPT. And I use them in a number of different ways. For example, I asked it to develop a business plan for me so I can use it as an outline to prepare a more full, comprehensive business plan. It can actually do anything that you ask it to do. And I'm talking about Copilot and Gemini, as well as Chat GPT. Chat GPT 5 is about to come out, and Gemini point 2 is about to come out. But any of these different ones that I've mentioned so far can really help you to take you to the next level. For example, you can ask it to do a resume for you. You can ask it to say, look, I'm dealing with health issues. Give me some advice on how to deal with this health issue. Better than your doctor. You probably go back to your doctor and tell your doctor, hey, we need to apply this. So these type of softwares can really level the playing field when it comes to poor communities. If you have a child that is failing in school and you use any of these programs that we talked about a little bit ago, that computer can tailor-make a program for that child. If you're a senior citizen and you want to learn how to get a GED, that program can tailor-make you a program on how to do it better than a human being. Especially when it comes to low-income kids that are failing in public school system. This can change the narrative by putting that child before one of these softwares or programs, and it can literally take that child from a failing student to a student that's passing everything, because it can personalize the training more so than your teacher in your classroom. In terms of education in low income, it's going to change the narrative. So these types of programs, Copilot, ChatGPT, can be used to increase and provide opportunities for those individuals that live in low income neighborhoods. And I'm only talking about a little bit of the potential of all of these different types of AI tools that can change the narrative in life in general, but specifically in poor communities.
Or whatever it may be, that might not be your bread and butter. Every single one of these has their own specific leverage points. So I would say if you want a model that can do very specific tasks and do it very well, you're going with ChatGPT. If you want a model that can be leveraged in your Microsoft 365 system, Outlook, PowerPoint, you go with Copilot. Perplexity AI and Gemini are head to head here. Try both. Both are free. See which one performs better in the context of your search result and how you like to interact in that manner. Gronk, Twitter. Anthropic, I see this more as a play for API, which I can get into in another video, but as a chatbot, its biggest advantage is for free. It gives you the ability to attach images. So that just about does it. Let me know in the comments down below if you agree with my consensus here, or if you have other models that I didn't even mention here that do way better stuff.
I consider this type of technology like a professor. You can go to your professor and you can ask that professor anything you want in terms of what you need. And it can answer that particular question. It's like having your own private professor. And anything you want to know, anything you need to know, from personal to business to health and beyond, can be addressed. This is a good time to live. And I implore you, when you finish this video right here, please jump into this technology called artificial intelligence. We plan to put together a 8-week course on it. You looking at every program out there and suggesting to you the best one to use for your specific individual need. Besides those chat bots that this guy talked about, what you're looking at now is the different types. Albert 1, Alice, Fred, all of these different types of blots, chat blots, will serve a particular purpose. Okay, let me see. I think they have more, but I think you get the gist of these. A lot of more of them that you can get besides the ones that this guy talked about to do just about anything that you need to do. Now, here's some other ones here that you also can use. He talked about ChatGPT, Bring, all of these different types of chat blots. Don't know if I'm pronouncing it correctly. You can use to find the information that you need. Now, question. Reality. Let's talk about reality related to the new technology. We have gone through a lot. Now, let's talk about reality and what are the different types of reality.
VR versus AR versus MR versus XR. Nowadays, we often come across such terms as virtual reality, VR, augmented reality, AR, and mixed reality, MR. We've decided to help you figure out the meanings of all these terms. Also, we'll take a look at the differences between real reality, RR, and extended reality, XR, and see what threats and opportunities digital reality provides to our actual lives. What is VR? Virtual reality, VR, creates an alternative reality, displayed with the help of helmets or smartphones. It can either be linear video or 3D simulations. The significant aspect is the effect of the presence and sensation of the immersion into another space. VR helmets aim to block the real physical environment so that a user becomes separated from the field of vision. Thus, you enter a three-dimensional world and can experience several new activities. What VR headset have you tried? Share your experience in the comments. Virtual reality is widely and successfully used in training and education, marketing, real estate, engineering, and design to elevate customer experience, improve workflow efficiency, and for branding purposes. What is AR? Augmented reality allows overlaying real objects with some virtual content. AR has many use cases, but the most famous one is the AR games. The user experiences a computerized simulation via the animation, images, and sound techniques. Most modern smartphones and tablets support AR applications. There are also specialized devices like Google Glass and Microsoft HoloLens intended for enterprise primarily. AR is now used for medical and military reasons. For instance, modern neurosurgeons can carry out complicated operations using 3D images with precise coordinates. So, during brain operations, a doctor has information based on the actual anatomy of a particular patient. AR is also used in business for the following purposes: interior design, virtual dressing rooms, tourism-related usages, advertising and marketing, data visualization. And finally, what is mixed reality? MR, or mixed reality, indicates videos where VR content is integrated into a real-time linear video. The shooting of an actor in VR is conducted by using the chroma key technology. In this case, the position of the camera is aligned with the location of an actor. As a result, viewers, experiencing MR, can see the actors as if they are in an artificially created environment. Thanks to the exceptional mix of AR and VR technologies, MR gains momentum with every year. MR is often seen as a demanded technology for training personnel by businesses and in educational establishments. All in all, as much as virtual reality gets closer to the actual world, it doesn't mean that real reality will become boring and unnecessary compared to engaging online experiences. AR, VR, and MR can contribute to making RR better, helping people to find new joys in their daily life. Ultimately enriching real lives with digital experiences, people will get tangible benefits of this technology. New jobs, higher salaries, and physical skills after training or playing in the AR environment. There's one more term to consider though. Extended reality, XR, describes AR, MR, and VR innovations. XR is the type of environment where real reality is supported by digital worlds, seamlessly integrated with real-life interactions. The actual reality is not substituted by these add-ons, only enriched and taken out of the box. With extended reality, people will get access to brand new education and entertainment opportunities, gaining experiences that they could never have touched or felt in real life. It will support more efficient relearning, exciting gaming, realistic cinema and TV, and enhanced interpersonal interactions between people all over the world. As you can see, VR, AR, and MR technologies are quite complex and different from each other. These technologies allow brands and advertisers to attract the attention of consumers. Realistic simulations enhance online communications and unforgettable content. This is the future that can be soon brought to us by XR Technologies. The Jelvix team has broad experience with these technologies. Looking for experts in the field? Find our contact information in the description box. We'll be happy to help. Don't forget to subscribe and like.
Okay, now we come to the final. Let me step back for a second because this virtual reality is going to change the narrative when it comes to loneliness. That there will be real life experience and interaction with this virtual reality that a person will actually feel like they are engaging in, let's say, a conversation with someone. It's going to be so real that you will fantasize about, let's say, for example, a male or female. And that male or female will become your reality in this virtual reality. This virtual reality experience. It's going to change the whole narrative. Not homelessness, but loneliness will go away because of this relationship in virtual reality that you create your friends, your whoever you want to engage with, and it's going to feel like it is so real. Okay, that being said, let me get back to the class. What is the web? Or specifically, what is Web3? Final presentation of the night, the Web3. Now, if you need a copy of this presentation, please email me at Center for Nonprofit and Community. As you see, what I have embedded in all of these PowerPoint presentations is the web pages or the videos that we talk about throughout the presentation. Now, let's jump into what is the Web3 and talk about some of the things that we can do with the Web3 in our everyday life, and especially when it comes to moolah, when it comes to money.
Ray is a tech-savvy guy and loves to spend most of his time exploring the web on his laptop. One fine day, he was going through an article on futuristic gadgets, and suddenly, he noticed an ad for the PS5 popping right beside the article. He found it a little strange as he recalled searching for that just a few hours ago. Later that day, he came across some suggestive ads popping up related to buying future-leading gadgets. And that is when he freaked out, thinking, how can it be possible that what he was searching for just a few hours or days ago on the internet is now suggesting ads related similar to them? So he thought of going to his elder brother Aaron, who is a software engineer in an MNC. Upon understanding the situation, he explained to Ray that all of this is happening because we are in an era of Web 2.0. It all started in 1994 when Web 1.0 was introduced to the internet. Basically, Web 1.0 was all read-only content that was not interactable and was similar to a huge Wikipedia page. But after a few years, in 2004, Web 2.0 came into the picture. Web 2.0 made the internet much more interactive because of developments in web technologies such as JavaScript, HTML5, CSS3, and others, which allowed companies to create interactive web platforms like YouTube, Facebook, Wikipedia, and many more. He further added that when we seek out information or data of any kind from any web platforms present on the internet, simultaneously unknowingly, we also provide them with information related to our choices and interests, which are stored in cookies, which later they sell to various companies who make use of this data to advertise exactly what you are looking for. And this is how Ray was able to see ads of his concerned interests. Ray was fascinated by how the internet has evolved and how it works amazingly. But at the same time, he was concerned about the lack of privacy offered by it. Ray, out of his concern, asked Aaron, is there any way that one can get rid of the loopholes of the current Web 2.0? When Aaron answered yes, there are a lot of ways to do that. using Tor browser, incognito mode, etc. But these are not permanent solutions, and there can be fluctuations in their reliability. But this scenario can be changed not just for you, but for everyone using the internet, with the help of Web 3.0. Ray was curious about it and asked, what is Web 3.0? Aaron explained that Web 3.0 is the next step in the evolution of the internet, allowing it to process data with near human intelligence through the use of artificial intelligence and blockchain technologies that run innovative programs to help users by providing them with their relevant choices. It's a significant step toward open, trusting, and permissionless networks. Aaron further added, to fully comprehend this, we must first explore the 4 key features of Web 3.0. First is decentralization. Blockchain will help decentralize data storage while also establishing trust in the virtual world. Because Web 3.0 allows information to be retrieved based on its content, it can be kept in several locations simultaneously, making it decentralized. This would dismantle the vast databases currently maintained by internet giants like Facebook, now Meta, and Google, giving more power over people. Second is trustful and permissionless. Web 3.0 will also be trustful and permissionless, which means that participants will be able to interact directly without the need for a trusted intermediary or permission from a governing body. Due to this, you can access any data relevant to your choice without any permission from any other node or third party. For example, if you are researching for some data, you don't need to accept its cookies, or you don't need to provide any sort of details, as there is a trustful bond between you and the web. Third is artificial intelligence and machine learning. In Web 3.0, through technology based on semantic web ideas and natural language processing, computers will be able to understand the information in the same way that people do. For example, I love Paris and I heart Paris may seem different in syntax. However, their semantics are nearly identical. This will help the user to achieve more relevant content to their choices and will provide them ease with internet browsing. Fourth is connectivity and ubiquity. In Web 3.0, the internet will be accessible to everyone, anywhere, at any time, because IoT, Internet of Things technology, will launch in several new smart devices. These internet-connected devices will no longer be limited to PCs and smartphones, as they were in Web 2.0. Understanding the shortcomings of Web 2.0, corporates like Amazon, Apple, and Google are transforming their existing services into Internet 3.0 apps that abide by these 4 principles. Siri and Wolfram Alpha are 2 applications that use Web 3.0 features. After learning about this, Ray was relieved by the fact that Web 3.0 is going to bring so much of a difference, not just in his life, but also to the society as a whole. So, here's a question for you. How is Web 3.0?
Okay, so let's dive in deeper about this thing called blockchain.
Ever wonder if there's an easier way to complete transactions without having to deal with online wallets, banks, and third-party applications? Well, it's possible thanks to blockchain. Here's everything you need to know about blockchain. Imagine 4 friends, Jack, Ted, Sam, and Phil meet up for dinner. After they're done, Jack pays the bill, and all of them decide to split the expense amongst each other. Now, on the next day, when Phil sends his share to Jack via online money transfer, the transaction goes through without a hitch. Then, Ted and Sam send their respective shares to Jack, but their transactions don't go through. The failed transaction cites some issues at the bank. That's when Jack comes to know about the many ways a bank transaction could fail. It could be due to technical issues at the bank. One of their accounts were hacked, daily transfer limits being exceeded, and sometimes additional charges, like transfer charges, associated with transferring money. To solve these problems, the concept of cryptocurrency came into existence. Cryptocurrencies are a form of digital or virtual currency that run on a technology known as blockchain. Thanks to blockchain, cryptocurrencies are immune to counterfeiting, don't require a central authority, and are protected by strong and complex encryption algorithms. And in a market of more than thousands of cryptocurrencies like Litecoin, Ethereum, Zcash, and so on, one reigns supreme: Bitcoin. Now, let's go back to our previous example. and have Phil, Ted, and Sam send Jack 2 Bitcoins each as their contribution to the previous night's dinner. Let's assume Phil, Ted, and Sam have 3 Bitcoins in reserve, while Jack has 5. First, Phil sends 2 Bitcoins to Jack. A record is created in the form of a block. The transaction details between them is permanently inscribed in this block. This record also holds the number of Bitcoins each of the friends own. So, after Phil's transaction, Jack has 7 Bitcoins, while Phil has 1. Following this, Sam and Ted send 2 Bitcoins to Jack. A new block is created for each of these transactions. These blocks hold the transaction details as well as how many Bitcoins Sam, Ted, and Jack have in reserve. These blocks are linked to each other, as each of them takes reference from the previous one for the number of Bitcoins each friend owns. This chain of records, or blocks, is called a ledger, and this ledger is shared among all the friends, which acts as a public distributed ledger. This forms the basis of blockchain. So, what happens when Phil has only 1 Bitcoin left, and he tries to send 2 more Bitcoins to Jack? The transaction will not go through. This is because all his friends have copies of the ledger, and it's clear that Phil has only 1 Bitcoin left. His friends will flag this transaction as invalid. A hacker will not be able to alter the data in the blockchain because each user has a copy of the ledger. The data within the blocks are encrypted by complex algorithms. All of this is made possible with the help of blockchain technology. Blockchain can be described as a collection of records linked with each other, strongly resistant to alteration, and protected using cryptography. Now, let's have a closer look at the Bitcoin transaction between Jack and Phil and find out how it works. Every user in the Bitcoin network has 2 keys, a public key and a private key. The public key is an address that everyone in the network knows of, like an email address of a user. The private key is a unique address that only the user has knowledge of, something like a password. First, Phil passes the number of Bitcoins he wants to send to Jack, along with his and Jack's unique wallet address through a hashing algorithm. All of this is part of the transaction details. These details are encrypted using encryption algorithms and using Phil's unique private key. This is done to digitally sign the transaction and to indicate that the transactions came from Phil. This output is now transmitted across the world using Jack's public key. With this, the message or transaction can be decrypted only by Jack's private key, which only Jack has knowledge of. Different cryptocurrencies use different hashing algorithms. While Bitcoin uses the SHA-256 algorithm, Ethereum, which is also a famous cryptocurrency, uses one known as Ethash. This transaction and several other similar ones are taking place all around the world. These transactions are validated and then added block by block. The people who validate these blocks are called miners. For a block to be validated and added to a blockchain, miners need to solve a complex mathematical problem. The miner who solves this first adds the block to the blockchain and is rewarded with 12.5 Bitcoins. The process of solving the complex mathematical problem is called proof of work, and the process of adding a block to the blockchain is called mining. With this, Phil and Jack's wallets are updated, just like every person in the network who has completed a transaction. Now that you know about blockchain and its important concepts, time for a small quiz. What is the concept of blockchain that ensures data cannot be altered by any of the users within the network?
No, we learned about a lot about Bitcoin and all those crypto type of financials. Let's talk about a different type of financial that you can use. It's called NFTs. Come on, let's do it.
Fungible token. Non-fungible means that something cannot be exchanged for another item because it is unique. For instance, one piece of art is not equal to another. Both have unique properties. Fungible items, on the other hand, can be exchanged for one another. For instance, $1 or Bitcoin is always equal to another. Okay, but what is an NFT? NFTs are tokens that live on a blockchain and represent ownership of unique items. Why is that helpful? Well, tracking who owns a digital file is tricky because it can be copied and distributed effortlessly. So how can you prove who's the original owner when everyone has an identical copy of the file? NFTs solve this problem. Imagine that you made a piece of digital art, essentially a JPEG on your computer. You can create or mint an NFT out of this. The NFT that represents your art contains a bit of information about it, such as a unique fingerprint of the file, a token name, and a symbol. This token is then stored onto a blockchain and you, the artist, become the owner. Now you can sell that token by creating a transaction on the blockchain. The blockchain makes sure that this information can never be tampered with. It also allows you to track who is the current owner of a token and for how much it has been sold in the past. It's important to note that the artwork itself is not stored within the NFT or the blockchain. Only its attributes such as the fingerprint or hash of the file, a token name and symbol, and optionally a link to a file hosted on IPFS. More about that in this video here. Now here's where NFTs become weird. When you buy an NFT that represents artwork, you don't get a physical copy of it. Heck, most of the time everyone can download a copy for free. The NFT only represents ownership, and that is recorded in a blockchain so nobody can tamper with it. Some say that NFTs give you digital bragging rights. And to make it even weirder, while the token owner owns the original artwork, the creator of the NFT retains the copyright and the reproduction rights. So an artist can sell his original artwork as an NFT, but he can still sell prints. Now, aside from digital art, NFTs can also be used to sell concert tickets, domain names, rare in-game items, real estate, and basically anything that is unique and needs proof of ownership. For example, the founder of Twitter sold his first tweet as an NFT. Anyone can see that tweet on his profile, but now only one person can own it, and that person paid over $2.9 million for it. I could even make an NFT out of this video. You could then buy it and be the owner of this video, even though it is free to watch for everyone. Now, why are some NFTs worth millions? Well, their worth is determined by what people are willing to pay for it. If I'm willing to pay $100 for a particular NFT, then it's worth $100. Prices are driven by demand, so be careful. An expensive NFT becomes worthless if nobody wants to buy it. Okay, one more thing before we end. How do they work technically? NFTs are essentially smart contracts that live on a blockchain. In this case, the contract stores the unique properties of the item and keeps track of current and previous owners. An NFT can even be programmed to give royalties to the creator every time it exchanges hands. So there you have it, NFTs explained in under 4 minutes.
So let me give some examples of how you can use an NFT. I'm what you call a person that creates all kind of phrases, a wordsmith. I have a way of creating words. I could actually get an NFT and actually sell that. I mean, make it such that anybody that use that phrase would have to pay me to use that particular phrase. So NFTs can be awesome in terms of especially low income individuals, people. You got a senior citizen that cooks really, really good. And she want to do a recipe. She do an NFT and nobody can steal that recipe. But NFTs is definitely, and I'm only saying it lightly on its capacity and what it can do in changing the narrative. Rappers, for example, when they rap, they get an NFT. You steal that rap, for example. So the way that you can use these NFTs, and I'm not really doing justice in trying to explain it, but I've been coming up with a course only on NFTs. But the way, for right now, I just want to summarize, you can use it for so many, call it intellectual property. You can use it for so many different reasons to create a tangible, non-tangible something that people have to pay you for. Okay, I messed that up. But anyway, let's continue. Okay, we're coming to the final topic for tonight. DeFi. I hope the information that you've gotten so far has been really helpful. Again, we provide an array of different professional workshops from how to start a nonprofit to how to put together a business plan, strategic plan, tactical plan, program development. Man, I can go on and on and on. But I hope you enjoyed the presentation so far. So let's talk about DeFi. What is DeFi?
Ria is a phenomenal baker who runs a bakery in New York. On seeing the great success of her business, she thought of growing it even bigger and launching a new franchise of her bakery in LA. So for the funds, she applied for a loan of $50,000 from the central bank. After completing her documentation for the loan, she comes to know that the bank is rejecting her loan application due to her loan borrowing limit of the amount decided by the central financial system. Furious with this situation, she talked to a friend Lisa, a finance expert, to understand how this whole centralized financial system of banks works. And why did her loan get rejected? Lisa explained to her that in centralized finance, banks and businesses use the money that you invest or lend to make profits, and their overriding objective is to make money. Third parties or merchants like debit, credit card providers control money transfers between the two end parties in the financial system, each charging a fee for their services. And that is why her loan got rejected, because the loan amount exceeded the limit decided by the bank or third parties for her. Ria was upset with the thought of not being able to grow her business. And that is when Lisa suggested Ria to opt for decentralized finance, or DeFi. Ria got a little confused by the term and asked, "What is decentralized finance?" Lisa answered that decentralized finance is a piece of code that eliminates middlemen or banks by allowing individuals, business merchants, and corporations to perform financial transactions using developing technologies. Peer-to-peer financial networks that provide security protocols and connectivity to the transactions are used to accomplish this. Stablecoin is a cryptocurrency backed by an asset or tied to a fiat currency like the dollar, is at the concept's core. Ria was fascinated and asked how it works and how exactly DeFi could help her get her loan approved. Lisa further added that DeFi uses the consensus mechanism to eliminate centralized finance models by allowing anyone or everyone to utilize financial services, regardless of who they are or where they are. A consensus mechanism refers to the methods used to achieve agreement, trust, and security across a decentralized computer network. Now, this DeFi mechanism runs in a decentralized environment. And this is where blockchain comes into the picture. It provides the environment where you can simply create your decentralized programs, or dApps, according to your requirement. In the blockchain network, transactions are stored in blocks, and other users in that network can verify them. If a transaction is verified by all its verifiers, the block is closed and encrypted, and a new block is created containing information from the previous block, thus creating a chain of blocks. And these transactions are handled by decentralized applications, or say, dApps. Lisa further explained that Ria's loan got rejected due to the lower limit by the centralized financial system. But in DeFi, she can submit her loan requirements into a decentralized finance application, dApp, and an algorithm would match her up with peers who could help her. After that, she'll have to agree to the lender's terms to get her loan. The transaction is then recorded in the blockchain, where it will be securely stored in a ledger that will make it impossible to hack, or any kind of malicious intervention. And after that, she'll receive her required amount of money once it is verified by the consensus mechanism. The lender can also then begin collecting their payments at the agreed upon intervals from her. When she makes the payment using her dApp, it goes through the same blockchain process, and the money is transferred to the lender. Ria was impressed and relieved that she now could grow her business in a much more secure and cheaper way, all thanks to DeFi. DeFi is meant to conduct transactions using cryptocurrency. Because technology is still evolving, it's difficult to say how, if at all, existing cryptocurrencies will be applied. So here's a question for you. Which concept does DeFi use for its implementation?
Good evening. My name Okay, so we're coming to the end. Please contact us if we can help you at the Center for Nonprofit and Community at gmail.com. Let's talk about some takeaways that I hope you've gotten from this. First, artificial intelligence in the Web3 can change the narrative, especially in poor communities. It can provide skill sets that lead to increasing your skill set so you can get good paying jobs. In terms of education, it can change the whole narrative and address the issues of these failing schools. I use it a lot for my business. For example, I use artificial intelligence so I don't have to hire a secretary, a salesperson, a program developer, a legal team. All that is done by artificial intelligence. What would normally take an organization to operate with 6 or 7 people in order to operate effectively, I can do this one person and using artificial intelligence to do the rest. This technology is going to change the narrative, especially when it comes to poor communities, when it comes to that man who's on the corner. And every job he goes for is a low paying job because he don't have the skill set necessary to command those high paying jobs. With artificial intelligence, it can set that man down and develop a program for him to get a good paying job and provide him with all those skill sets. Artificial intelligence is changing the narrative, and I hope this video has in some kind of way helped you. The future's here, folks, and we can get left behind, or we can jump into this thing called artificial intelligence. Thanks again for taking part in this. Get in contact with us because we offer a different array of different professional classes on how to do a business plan, how to do how to start a nonprofit, how to do grant proposal, strategic planning, program development. We provide all of those skill sets. Thanks again for joining us again. Don't forget, hit us up, like this particular video, and please share this with your friends. Share, share, share. We need to change the narrative. If you're in a low income neighborhood, please share this. Share this. Thank you.